Hello guys, this is Jack, and today we're going to be doing the Golden Globes predictions for all the nominees. We're getting close to the award season start, as we're starting to see a lot of the guilds give out their awards for Best Picture and other categories. So this week has just been crazy. There was the NBR, the AFI, there's some other critics groups that have started to award a lot of stuff, and I think now is the perfect time to predict my Golden Globe picks, as the nominations are going to happen this Monday. So let's kind of dive into some of the stuff that I picked out. Now, I will say this, I think Critics' Choice and Golden Globes are kind of similar in my type of mind frame, and I think it's probably because of the way the season is panning out right now with some of the movies that I have here. So if I do repeat myself, that's probably because I already said some stuff about some of these nominees with my Critics' Choice picks in the last video. So check that video out if you want to hear more thoughts about some of the movies that I have here. But for now, let's kind of talk about the picks that I have. So I'm going to start from the beginning, and I'm going to go just from the bottom all the way up, so we can kind of talk ourselves out of some of the stuff that I have here. So starting with original song, I have I Lied to You by Sinners being the #1 choice, and then Golden, K-pop Demon Hunters, Girl in the Bubble from Wicked for Good, Dream as One, I think that's the Miley Cyrus song from Avatar Fire and Ash, Clothed by the Sun by The Testament of Ann Lee, and finally I have Relentless from Diane Warren's documentary, Relentless. And yeah, I think right now I'm stuck between I Lied to You and Golden being the picks for Best Original Song in win contention. I'm still going with I Lied to You because of the way the song is actually utilized in Sinners compared to Golden, even though Golden has a really good significance to the story of K-pop Demon Hunters, and it's a huge song. So yeah, of course you have to pick that song out, and I don't blame people for putting it at their #1 spot. But for now, I think I Lied to You is my personal pick for Best Original Song, and I don't really need to talk about any of the other contenders. Girl in the Bubble is just a fine song in my opinion. It didn't really hit me while watching Wicked for Good when that song appeared, and I haven't heard Dream as One yet. I did hear Clothed by the Sun from The Testament of Ann Lee because I saw the movie way back in September, and I thought the song they used with it, I think it's towards the end of the credits of the movie, was really beautiful, and I think they also posted a live performance of the song, and it's a really great song in my opinion. And I haven't heard Relentless. It's a Diane Warren song. Of course, it's going to be very chopped and generic. So yeah, let's kind of move on to the other categories here. So let's go with the Best Original Score. So with Best Original Score, I have Sinners at #1, One Battle After Another, Hamnet, Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, The Testament of Ann Lee, and Bugonia. So Sinners, I think, is in win contention right now because of the way the score is utilized in the movie. But I do think One Battle After Another from Johnny Greenwood is a really good shot to win because of the way the score is used as a kind of tell of the story, especially in the beginning of the movie, where a lot of the movie in the first act is utilized with montages and score and music going in and out of each scene. And I think Johnny Greenwood's score in the film is really fucking great. And then Max Richters' Hamnet score, even though he does use that song from Arrival in Hamnet for the ending of the film, I still think the score here is really good. I don't know about Frankenstein. I thought Alexander Desplat's score was kind of just hit and miss while I was watching Frankenstein, and I haven't heard Daniel Lopton's score for Marty Supreme yet. I haven't seen Marty Supreme, so I can't really tell how it sounds, but I can kind of feel what it's going to sound like because Daniel Lopton did the score for Uncut Gems and Good Time, and those were one of my favorite scores. So I'm excited to hear his score for Marty Supreme. And then The Testament of Ann Lee, I thought Daniel Blumberg's score for The Testament of Ann Lee was just magnificent. I think it's honestly way better than The Brutalist. Even though I did like some of the tracks off of The Brutalist, I think the utilization of the score in The Testament of Ann Lee is much, much more abrasive and just magical compared to The Brutalist, in my opinion, but I digress. And then finally, Bugonia, Jurgen Fredericks. His score for Bugonia was also very crazy and weird. It's a shoo-in kind of nomination if one of these picks fails. So let's kind of like continue on with the other categories here. So we have cinematic and box office achievement over here. And with Wicked for Good winning, you don't need to kind of explain the other choices that I have here, like Sinners has a really good shot here, Avatar Fire and Ash, Superman, F1, Zootopia 2, Weapons, a Minecraft movie, Lilo and Stitch, and Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Yeah, I think Wicked for Good is probably going to take this award. It's a really shitty-ass award. It's mostly kind of like a consolidation prize saying like, hey, you made like $1 billion, here you go, here's the award, yay. So it's just a very useless award in my opinion, but I think that's what's going to happen. Even though I think Wicked for Good, the box office numbers have kind of been dipping a little bit compared to the first film. But again, who knows? It's just a really pointless category. But we move on to animated feature. And I have K-Pop Demon Hunters just sweeping this season. Right now, I don't really see Zootopia 2 taking any chances this season. I do think, however, the Golden Globes, the way they operate this year or the last couple of years, they've been very kind of cool with just nominating smaller, independent, and international films. And one of their big strengths is actually nominating international animated features. And I think Little Amelie has a really good shot of getting the nomination and also winning. I did check out the movie a couple weeks ago and I thought it was pretty good. I thought actually the animation in it was really, really cool, and like the way it was using like a lot of like techniques of like watercolor and 3D animation. To me, I thought it was really cool. I haven't seen Arco yet, so I can't really say anything about that, but I've heard mixed things about it. Elio was just happy to be here. It flopped at the box office. It was critically mixed. It's just a placeholder because Pixar has a movie that came out this year and it was Elio for some reason. And then In Your Dreams is my other pick. I have not seen this movie yet. I think it's on Netflix, but I heard some mixed things about it. But I think it's a really good shot movie for animated feature. And I don't really see anything else here like Scarlet, Neja 2, which flopped twice here in the States. The Bad Guys 2 would be really nice. I actually liked the second one better than the first one, but I don't really see it going anywhere this season. And I don't really see a Magnificent Life going anywhere also as well this season. This is the new Sylvain Chimote film. I think he also did one other French movie that is running away from my head, but I saw it recently for the first time and it was really great. But yeah, I think K-Pop Demon Hunters is going to like take this award and will be nominated. So let's kind of move on to the next category here, and I have international feature or non-English picks. And first of all, I think this crop of picks that I chose are really interesting picks because right now we're kind of like trying to figure out what really is the front runner to win the international feature for the Oscars. And honestly, the way I'm looking at it, I think now, since one movie is just picking up a lot of Guild Awards and just recognition, I think I gotta like put it at number one. And I'm gonna go with It Was Just an Accident by Jafar Panahi. Man, listen, I think his whole narrative this season is gonna be really cool and kind of very political because of the way he's escaping from the Iranian regime, and now the Iranian people are trying to take him out by throwing him in jail again for another year. So I think now like his narrative is like way more stronger, and you're gonna see a lot of critic groups choose this film just because of his backstory and just the way the movie was made under like hidden texts and hidden roads. But if that doesn't happen, Sentimental Value is the second choice pick for me personally. It did kind of lose a little bit steps here and there this week with some of the Guild nominees, but I think it still has a really good shot of winning international feature if It Was Just an Accident just slips for some reason. And number three, honestly, I will explain a little bit later in this video, but I think I know what is going to be the third pick choice here, and I think it's The Secret Agent. And the reason why is because Wagner Moore, his performance in that movie is fantastic, and he's winning a lot of critics awards, especially from coming from Cannes. So you kind of have to like take that into account when you kind of pick all of these choices. But that's the reason why I have The Secret Agent at number 3, because I think it has a really good shot of actually taking the award from these other 2 contenders. And number 4, I have No Other Choice. It's starting to actually pick up the word of mouth. I know the movie leaked online, and if you've watched the movie online, shame on you. You should watch it in theaters. It's so fucking good. But even then, I think the press behind the movie, some of the stuff that's happening behind the scenes with like the Q&As, and a lot of celebrities actually going out around like the campaign trail and campaigning this film will actually like work out in its benefit. And yeah, I don't really have to say too much about it. It did slip a little bit with some of the Guild picks this week, but even then, I still am very confident that No Other Choice might get nominated for the Golden Globe. And if it misses out, then yeah, we'll have a long talk about it. But for now, I have it at number 4. And the rest of the picks here are kind of just maybes. And I'm going to start with the voice behind Rajib. My friend saw this at TIFF just a few months ago, and he said it was just fantastic and very emotional. And I really want to check this film out. I think it's coming out in the next coming days here in New York, so I will be able to watch this film in its entirety. But I think it has a really good shot here, mainly because of how the Golden Globes operates nowadays with like international picks. And I think if they are really paying attention to a lot of like the international features that come out from different countries, like of course they have to pick the voice of Hein Rajib, because it did win the 2nd top prize at Venice, and it is kind of starting to pick up its word of mouth, especially now that it's picked up by a small distributor. But I'm putting it there just because. And now I'm putting Nouvelle Vague. It's actually Nouvelle Vague, but Richard Linklater's film about the making of Breathless. The reason why I have this here is because there's a lot of top 10 lists that are coming out that are actually putting Nouvelle Vague in their top 10, 5, and even number 1. So now you kind of have to like think about, oh shit, maybe Richard Linklater, both his films, Nouvelle Vague and Blue Moon, might actually have a chance to stay in the race this season. And the reason why I have Nouvelle Vague is just because of the way it's now shaping up to be Netflix's dark horse pick for the season, aside from Train Dreams, which is, by the way, I'll explain a little bit later, but is now starting to be more of like a number 2 pick for Netflix. But yeah, like I think Nouvelle Vague has a really good shot here. And then the rest of the crop of picks that I have here are just maybes. Like Left-Handed Girl, this is the new Xi Shang-Shu film, who is also produced by Sean Baker and edited by Sean Baker. And the Sean Baker effect might pull this film to its nomination this Monday. But also the other choices that I have here might actually take some spots away from these other choices that I have here, like Surat. I've been seeing some people pick Surat in their top 10 with their films of the year. And I think even though the film, it might be just divisive for some when you watch it, the overall experience is just so unexpected and just like one of the most visceral films that you'll see this year. And it has a really good shot of actually winning over some people if people are like starting to pick up its kind of wavelength. And then finally I have Sound of Falling and Resurrection. These 2, I just had to pick them there. I don't really see Sound of Falling really being part of the season, although Golden Globes is the perfect place to actually bite it here, because they did do Fallen Leaves just a couple years ago when they purged a lot of voters and moved on from that old guard of the Golden Globes era to like the new era. So maybe, and maybe with Resurrection also as well. It's also showing up in a lot of top 10 critics lists. But yeah, that's my international feature lineup. Excuse me. Let's continue on with Screenplay. And this one is also really interesting because I have Paul Thomas Anderson winning for One Battle After Another. I don't really need to explain much. I think it's a really good pick for Screenplay. It's very snappy. There's just a lot of stuff that you can pick out from like that screenplay. Sentimental value also as well, and Sinners, and even Marty Supreme. Even though I haven't seen the movie yet, I heard some good things about like the dialogue in that film. And It Was Just an Accident is another one that could definitely get in because of the way the film is performing right now. And then Hamnet might actually have this a little bit lower now that I'm thinking about it, because I don't really see Hamnet as like a big like screenplay contender, but it's one of those things that just has to be there because of the way the film is, in terms of it being like a top 5 film of the year for a lot of critics and guilds. And then finally, I have No Other Choice at number 7 and number 8 with Bugonia. Number 7, No Other Choice. It's one of those picks that I think might actually happen if one of the other picks that I have here for my top 6 like falls off. I personally would swap Hamnet for No Other Choice. I would just kind of like go like that instead of Hamnet. And then Bugonia is just another one where the screenplay in that is really great, but I don't really see it being a big contender this season. So then we kind of move on to the main categories. Now, this is where some good shit happens. So we're starting with supporting actor, with Stellan Skarsgård being at number 1. I firmly believe that he is the front runner right now, even though Benicio del Toro did take a lot of prizes this week, especially some of the ones that I never expected, actually. Like, he did win the New York Film Critics Circle and the NBA award. So, you know what? Yeah, man, like, I think if Stellan Skarsgård doesn't take the Golden Globe, honestly, I think Benicio del Toro might have a chance to sweep. And it's weird because in the beginning we thought Sean Penn was going to take it. He's going to be nominated here, but we thought like, oh, it's going to be Sean Penn's like sweep this season. But it seems like I think Benicio del Toro might have the chance to sweep. And then Paul Mescal for Hamnet, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. I'm going to be very happy if this actually happens, and I think it's going to happen because Frankenstein is now picking up with a lot of critics groups and audience members who've seen the film on Netflix. Like, a lot of normies have checked out Frankenstein and have really enjoyed it and really have talked about Jacob Elordi's performance in Frankenstein. So I'm just happy if it actually happens, because it's a very type of performance that you don't normally see in a lot of like awards bodies. It's a makeup performance, it's a monster performance, and it's something that it's very like transformative. And then finally, I have Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly. I think a lot of critics groups and guilds are going to bite for Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly because of the way his narrative is going. It's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, we're sorry we didn't nominate you for Uncut Gems. Let's actually take the initiative to nominate you for this movie that's very, light, breezy, schmaltzy, but also plays a lot with the current Hollywood landscape. And I think Adam Sandler, like, he's in. I think he's definitely in, even though the movie's kind of like slipping with a lot of people under their radar. And then when we go below the line, I actually think William H. Macy has a really good shot of getting the nomination. Train Dreams is actually picking up, especially now since it's on Netflix. Yeah, like, I'm very surprised that people are actually really enjoying Train Dreams, because I thought when I saw the film, it was going to be one of those things where I'm just like, oh man, like, they're not gonna like the Terrence Malick slow voiceover cinema movie, but it seems like everybody's just like loving this film, and I gotta like give it a second chance. I wasn't like too hot on it, but I'm gonna definitely watch it again and kind of have a better grasp with it. But I think William H. Macy's performance in that film is really great, and he really stands out, and he's kind of like the heart of the movie. And then the last couple of picks that I have here are just like, man, it would be really nice if it actually happens, but like with Delroy Lindo for Sinners, like earlier in the season we were talking about, oh yeah, like he's getting nominated, it's going to be his time. And then once, the season started in the fall, we kind of like stopped talking about Delroy Lindo. I'm just really sad that it's not happening, but who knows, maybe the Golden Globes are like really into Sinners and they want to like give Sinners everything. So you got to throw it in there, and you got to throw Miles Keaton in there. And finally, Jeremy Strong for Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. It's just a pick where I'm just like, okay, if the Golden Globes are operating in a way where they're going back to their old ways of just picking celebrities and big names. I think Jeremy Strong is one of those choices where they just go like, all right, fine, we'll nominate him, even though the movie completely fell off the face of the earth. Nobody's talking about Springsteen, not even me. I thought that movie was just like very middling and just boring. But yeah, man, that's with supporting actor. That is basically it. We continue on with supporting actress here. And I have Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good. And the reason why I have her at number 1 still, even though the movie has kind of like slipped off, it's just because of just the narrative. I think Ariana Grande, like, even though the film itself, it's far lesser than the last film, everybody's still talking about her performance and the way she's kind of like acting amongst her peers. And I think it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, yeah, we can give Ariana Grande finally her Golden Globe and potentially her Oscar this season. But honestly, watch out for Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. I think even though her character disappears in the first like 30 minutes of the movie, like after it, you still think about Tiana Taylor's performance. And I think if One Battle After Another is going to win Best Picture here at the Golden Globes, they have to also pick out Tiana Taylor for the win. And then finally, the last couple of choices are really interesting. Starting with Lelelis for Sentimental Value. I'm really shitty with the pronunciations. I'm sorry about it, but this is one of those things where earlier when the film came out, Sentimental Value, we were just like, oh yeah, I think Ellie Fanning is like the top pick choice for supporting actress because she's an American and she's more visible and people don't know who Ingna is, but it's actually the other way around. In fact, I think Ingna actually did win one prize this week at one of the guilds. So honestly, I think she has a really good shot of winning this award this season. She did win the NBR. So yeah, like I think she has a really good shot. Amy Madigan for Weapons is another one where it's finally going to happen. Usually like when we have like these fringe nominations, either goes either way. It could go like The Substance, where at first glance we're just like, it's not gonna happen. Like they're not gonna go for like The Substance. It's a horror movie. It's like a genre movie. It's something that will piss off a lot of, you know, audience members. But it went the other way around where everybody loved The Substance, and it finally got Demi Moore her nomination. And I think she won at the Golden Globes. So this season it's Amy Madigan for Weapons, and she's the face of the movie. She's the villain of the movie. She's caked up in makeup. She's like the Joker. Like she has everything like for her, and she's one of those actresses who disappeared in Hollywood. She hasn't done like a lot of like big roles, and then now with this, you know, type of role, she's finally putting her weight back into the ring. And yeah, like I honestly think she has a really good shot of winning also as well, because of just the way people remember that performance and just the way people remember her back then to now. But yeah, I think Amy Madigan, like she's locked. And then finally, the last couple of picks, I'm kind of figuring out what the fuck is going on. So Gwyneth Paltrow for Marty Supreme. The reason why I picked her over Odessa Zion is because of just the name recognition. We haven't seen Gwyneth Paltrow in a big movie in a long time, especially a movie that is going to be the top like 5 pick for Best Picture this season. And honestly, from the way I'm hearing it, I think Gwyneth Paltrow has like a good narrative. She has a lot of stuff to do in the movie from what I've been hearing. And it's a very subdued but also complex performance. And I would say also the same for Odessa Zion, but again, lesser name recognition compared to Gwyneth Paltrow, but I would not be shocked if one or the other goes for the nomination. And then now, Wuni Musaku for Sinners. She did actually win, I think, a prize this week as I'm recording this video. Like, she did win the Gotham Award this week. So, yeah, man, like, I think if people are paying attention to her, don't be surprised if she gets the nomination. And the last, like, 3 choices are just like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, Emily Blunt for The Smashing Machine. I don't really see it, but it's a name check kind of performance, and it's one of those things where it's just like, if the guilds really like just Emily Blunt in general, they can just go for it. Same with Jennifer Lopez for The Kiss of a Spider Woman. That film just like completely flopped and fell off from the face of the earth. And I'm thinking like the old way of the Globes where they would just pick out like big name recognition actors, and of course Jennifer Lopez just like name checks that attribute. And then finally Glenn Close for Wake Up Dead Man. I don't really see Knives Out going anywhere this season. It seems like Netflix is just dropping it in select theaters and then just like on Netflix and just like letting it die. But if it does happen, it would be kind of cool because I think her performance in that movie is really good. And then finally we get to actor in a musical or comedy, and we start with Timothée Chalamet for Mary Supreme, Leo for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Jesse Plemons for Bugonia, George Clooney for Jay Kelly, and Lee Byung-hun for No Other Choice. And rounding out the rest is Brendan Fraser for Rental Family, Channing Tatum for Roofman, Robert Pattinson from Mickey 17, and Daniel Craig for Wake Up Dead Man. Yeah, I think Timothée Chalamet is going to sweep this season right now, currently. I think it's probably because of the way the performance is going from what I've been hearing, and just I think the narrative of like Timothée Chalamet just campaigning and really putting himself out there to get like people to really like the movie, and I think it's a really good shot. And I think aside from that, like Leonardo DiCaprio has a really good shot because of just the way the film is performing. And it's another performance where, yeah, sure, it's a performance that we've seen before from like Leo, but I honestly think it's better than The Revenant, and I would not be surprised if he actually does take the Oscar. And then number 3, I have Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon. Reason being is because it's starting to surge. The film, even though it's not being seen by a lot of people, like Sony Pictures Classics does a really good job with their campaigns, and I think Ethan Hawke is totally safe if the movie just starts to pick up. It's actually starting to pick up with a lot of the top 10 lists that I've been seeing on the internet. And then the rest, like Jesse Plemons for Bugonia, he has kind of like died down a little bit with his narrative, but I think he has a good shot. Same with like George Clooney. And Lee Byung-hun is just one of those choices where I'm just like, if they really like No Other Choice, they can actually go for it, because I think some other places actually started to nominate Lee Byung-hun for his performance in No Other Choice, and it's just one of those things where it makes sense. It makes total sense. He's the face of the movie. And the rest of the crop, the picks that I have here are just like, I don't know, like they could go for Brendan Fraser for Rental Family, but the movie has kind of like died down. Channing Tatum for Roofman is one of those old Golden Globes name check type of situations. And then the rest, like Robert Pattinson from Mickey 17. Nobody remembers that movie, only me. So, and then Daniel Craig for Wake Up Dead Man. That's one of those things where it's just like, okay, well, we liked the last 2 Knives Out movies. Why not? Let's just like nominate it in this category. So, yeah, I don't know. And then we continue on with Best Actor for Drama. Sorry, I have to kind of speed run a little bit because my camera's about to overheat. So let's kind of like continue on. So continuing on with Best Actor in a Drama, I have Wagner Moore for The Secret Agent. Number 2, I have Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams, Dwayne Johnson for The Smashing Machine, Jeremy Allen White for Springsteen, Oscar Isaac rounding out the top 6 for Frankenstein. And then the rest of the picks that I have here include Sergio Lopez for Seurat, Daniel Day-Lewis for Enemy, Will Arnett for Is This Thing On, and Russell Crowe for Nuremberg, even though I think Russell Crowe might be supporting. But yeah, listen, so Wagner Moore, his rise to fame and just stature with this current season has been really interesting in my personal opinion, because of the way The Secret Agent is just immediately like picking up its like steam and word of mouth. It won a top prize at Cannes, and it did win the Best Actor award for Wagner Moore. And immediately, like when you like hear that, you have to put Wagner Moore at number 1, because this is how the Golden Globes operate nowadays. They operate in terms of like what big international movies are popping off, and The Secret Agent is popping the fuck off. So yeah, like it's a no-brainer situation. Now, here's the thing. They could, go back to the old ways and kind of pick out some choices where they're like big name choices, like for example, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Like, he's been in the industry for a really long time, and now he's in a big top movie this year with Sinners. And I think Michael B. Jordan, if he wins the Golden Globe here, like, the visibility immediately goes up, and it gives him like a better chance of getting nominated for an Oscar. But also, as we continue down on our list, we have Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams, and now this film is picking up steam in terms of word of mouth and the way Netflix is handling the movie. The movie started out at Sundance and eventually kind of started to pick up its steam at like other fall festivals, and now we're here and people are talking about it. So I'm very serious about Joel Edgerton getting nominated and potentially being in third place and might actually win. And then the rest of the choices that we have here are just what the fucks. Starting with Dwayne Johnson for The Smashing Machine. Listen, I understand the movie flopped critically and financially, but I think the industry is just all over like The Rock's dick, and they really want to like give The Rock some like chances this award season. So the first stop is the Golden Globes, and if he wins the Golden Globe here, I think his performance might actually bring life back to music for just a little bit. But it's one of those things where I'm just like, my line of thinking, it's just like, okay, that's kind of like the old way the Globes reacted to with like the big names, but nowadays they don't do that anymore. They're more focused on versatile, international, and also mostly front-running performances, and Dwayne Johnson's just completely out of the conversation right now. Same with Jeremy Allen White. What the fuck? Springsteen's dead. It's over. And then finally, Oscar Isaac for Frankenstein. It's just a thing. Like, it could happen if Frankenstein just overperforms here at the Globes. So I don't really say anything too much about that. And then the rest of the characters that I have here, starting with Sergi Lopez for Surat. That's one of those things where I'm just like, if they're thinking about like international films, why not pick Sergi Lopez for Surat? I know the movie is very polarizing, but like his performance in that movie like stands out and actually anchors the entire film together. So it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, let's do it. So as I was saying while, my camera just overheated. So I was talking about Sergi Lopez for Surat. Yeah, it's one of those things where if the International Guild for the Globes are actually going to choose a lot of international picks, like why not pick Sergi Lopez? Like, his performance in that film is really great and really anchors the entire film. Daniel Day-Lewis for Anemone is just a thing. The movie just flopped, nobody's talking about it, and it's a name check type of situation. Same with Will Arnett and Russell Crowe. Those are just two big name actors that have bubbling movies but aren't going anywhere. And we kind of move on to other places like Best Actress for a Musical or Comedy. I think Rose Byrne is going to take the Globe right now for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. She did win some top prizes right now for like the Critics Guilds. And it's just a really good movie. And I think honestly, even though if the film is just like polarizing for some, honestly, I think people are still going to bite for it because of the way Rose Byrne's performance is just fucking incredible. And I would say the same thing for Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee. Reason why I have her at number 2 is just the talk of the town. Like, I think people who have started to like take a look at the film have finally realized, like, yeah, like she's fucking great. Although I do think right now, the reason why I have Cynthia Erivo at number 3 is because of the way the film Wicked for Good has kind of like fallen off a little bit in terms of its awards potential. But honestly though, I wouldn't be surprised if Cynthia just steamrolls this nomination potential win. And the rest of the crop of picks that I have here, just happy to be here. Like Emma Stone for Bugonia, don't need to explain about that. Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another, although she's more of a supporting actress performance. They're campaigning her as a lead performance, and she's great in it, and she has a lot of great moments in that film. And then finally at number 6, honestly though, I think Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue has a good shot. It's the most boomer bait film of the year. Like, boomers are gonna go all out for this film. Like, It's a Neil Diamond kind of inspired musical biopic about two musicians who play Neil Diamond covers, and they travel across the road just to do their songs. And like, yeah, of course, like it's the most boomer attractive film of the year. And Kate Hudson, like, she hasn't done anything in a while, and people remember her from Almost Famous. So I think now, like, her coming back for another movie that has sort of awards potential might actually bite for a lot of older generations of filmmakers and audience members. And then the rest of the crop, it's all good luck, buddy. Emma Mackey for Ella McKay, like, good luck, bro. I think Song Sung Blue and Ella McKay are going to have a boomer off. Like, the boomers are going to fight for one of those movies. Also the same with like Eleanor the Great with June Squibb. Like, good luck. I love her in that movie. She does a great performance in that film, but that movie ain't going nowhere. And then Dakota Johnson for Materialists, fine. Good luck. And then Olivia Colman for The Roses. Could actually happen because it's Olivia Colman, so I don't really need to say too much about that. And then we're going to continue to kind of like steamroll these categories because I don't know if my camera's about to die. So let's continue on with like Best Actress in a Drama. Jessie Buckley, Hamnet at number 1. Renai Renzva for Sentimental Valley at number 2. Tessa Thompson for Hedda at number 3. Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love at number 4. Julia Roberts for After the Hunt at number 5. Number 6, I have Jodie Foster for A Private Life. Number 7, I have Mariam Eshfari for It Was Just an Accident. Number 8, I have Sydney Sweeney for Christy. Number 9, I have Eva Victor for Sorry Baby. And number 10, Julia Garner for Weapons. So this top 6 is just, what the fuck are we doing, bro? Starting with Jodie Foster for A Private Life. It's a name check type of thing, where I think the Globes, like, they love Jodie Foster V. Awarded her the prize here for The Mauritanian a few years ago during like the COVID years. I think it was like back in 2021 or 2022. Who remembers that movie? Not me. I remember I watched it twice for some reason, but I did like her performance in that film. And again, she could actually get the nomination this year for another small movie, A Private Life. I need to check it out. I heard she's speaking in French for like the entire film, which is really interesting. Number 5, it's more of like a chuckle vision type of situation. Like, oh man, like After the Hunt just completely flopped this season, and Julia Roberts in the beginning of the season, we were just like, yeah, she's gonna get like the Oscar nomination. It's gonna be a great movie. Her performance is gonna be like top notch. And then the movie comes out and it just crashes and burns. But honestly, it makes sense for her to be here at the Globes. It's a name check type of situation, but also at the same time, she does give a really great performance, and I think probably my personal one of favorite performances of the year, even though I think I would put it a little bit lower than all these other people, but I don't know. Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love, another type of situation is where it's just a big name check, but at the same time, everybody's highlighting her performance as one of the best in her career, so you gotta take that into account. You also got to take into account Tessa Thompson for Hedda, which is starting to pick up. A lot of people are actually biting for Hedda, even though the film quietly dropped on Amazon Prime Video and did some small kind of like fall festivals here and there, especially at TIFF. I missed it twice at TIFF and Montclair, and I finally saw it on Amazon Prime Video, and I thought it was good, and I thought Tessa Thompson's performance in that film was really great. And then the last two, like Renai Renzva for Sentimental Value, she's the runner-up this season right now. Don't need to explain that. But Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, even though she hasn't won any kind of critics groupie prizes this week, I think she still has a great shot of winning this award this season, especially at the Golden Globes. So yeah, I don't really need to explain any of like the negatives here. So finally, we get to like the other like top choices, like Mariam Eshfari for It Was Just an Accident would be a cool nomination if they go full international this season. Sydney Sweeney for Christy, like it's a happy to be here type of situation. The movie flopped financially and has middling reception. And to those who've actually seen the film, I thought the movie was good, but it's not like totally an awards-worthy performance by Sydney Sweeney. even though I did say that in the review. But I think going like forward, I was just like, you know what? Nah, I think she just does a decent job in that movie. And then Eva Victor for Sorry Baby would be really nice. Same with Julia Garner for Weapons. It would be a really nice situation if they actually really like Weapons, aside from supporting actress. And I think I almost forgot to mention about Best Director. I have Paul Thomas Anderson at number 1. I have Chloe Zhao at number 2. I have Ryan Coogler at number 3. Jafar Panahi at number 4. Frankenstein for Del Toro here for number 6. Josh Safdie at number 7. Park Chan-wook 8. Philo at number 9, and then Mona Fastfold at number 10. It usually tops off after 5, if I remember correctly, for this category. Actually, I think it's 6. Sorry, I'm like recording this at like 5 a.m. because I forgot to mention this, but yeah, I think Paul Thomas Anderson is going to take the Golden Globe for Best Director for the Golden Globes. Yeah, and I think the reason being is because it's his time. Like, it is his time to do this sweep this season. But yeah, I don't really have to say too much about that. So we're gonna finish this video off with the last 2 categories. But yeah, aside from that, we chug along for musical or comedy, picture, and drama. So with the musical comedy category for Best Picture, I have One Battle After Another at number 1, Marty Supreme at number 2, No Other Choice at number 3, Jay Kelly at number 4, Bugonia at number 5, Wicked for Good at number 6, and then rounding out the rest, I have The Testament of Family at number 7, Wake Up Dead Man at number 8, Rental Family at number 9, and Song Sung Blue at number 10. Honestly, I think One Battle After Another has not missed in terms of critics' picks for their top 10s, the awards they're actually pulling out this week. And yeah, man, I think it's just going to sweep the season from what I'm feeling right now. Now, it could have an overhead kind of fatigue moment where there's too much of One Battle After Another winning a lot of these prizes, and somebody has to step up and take its place as a runner-up or a challenger. And I think Marty Supreme is the perfect movie to be the runner-up for this category and potentially the Oscars this season. And then No Other Choice, I think, quite frankly, I think it's the big pick for international feature, aside from It Was Just an Accident. And the rest of the picks are just all right, cool, whatever. Jay Kelly, starting to pick up, especially coming out of Venice, where the reception was so middling, where it was just yeah, I have a feeling that Jay Kelly might miss this year, but it seems like it's now picking up since it's going to other places like Montclair Film Festival. Yeah, man, and I don't really need to talk about the rest, Bugonia and Wicked for Good. Just happy to be here. Same with Testament of Family, I think has a really good shot of getting the nomination, even though I think it's struggling to get a lot of nominations for these critics guilds. And then the rest, I don't really need to explain myself with these other choices. And we kind of move on to Best Picture Drama. And then finally, we have Best Picture Drama, starting with Sinners at number 1, Hamnet at number 2, Sentimental Value at number 3, Frankenstein at number 4, It Was Just an Accident at number 5, The Secret Agent at number 6, and then rounding out the rest, I have Train Dreams at number 7, Avatar Fire and Ash at number 8, Weapons at number 9, and House of Dynamite at number 10. Starting with number 6, The Secret Agent, I'm taking into account Wagner Moura winning Best Actor for a drama, so if they really love this movie, then why not pick The Secret Agent in their top 6? Same with It Was Just an Accident. If it's winning Best International Feature, you gotta put it in there. Frankenstein has a lot of word of mouth with a lot of critics and industry people, and it's a good pick for this top prize. Sentimental Value also as well. Hamnet. And then Sinners. Sinners is going to win, in my opinion, and it's the only big shot type of thing that I could see going forward with the Sinners. And then the rest, I would say that Train Dreams has a really good shot of actually getting the nomination because of its word of mouth. And then the last couple of picks here, Avatar Fire and Ash, the reviews came out for the social embargo, and a lot of the social media reactions are just kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like the last movie, but it doesn't really move the needle with the whole entire narrative. It's just like the same thing again. And I honestly think if people are going to talk about it more with that kind of tone, then I can see Avatar Fire and Ash just missing out for the Golden Globe nomination and potentially just this entire season. And the Weapons in A House of Dynamite, like Weapons, it really depends on whether or not like the Golden Globes are like really like in love with Weapons aside from supporting actress. Because if it does get more nominations like Screenplay or Best Drama, then yeah, I think Weapons has a good shot. And then finally, A House of Dynamite, I just put it at number 10 because for the lulz, and it's probably because the movie just fell off. Like nobody's talking about the movie, and like audiences who have seen it on Netflix hate it. Like the audience score for it is just, it's not that good. But yeah, other than that, that's basically it. Thank you guys. Sorry for rushing this video out. Just wanted to, do all my picks before this Monday. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Keep an eye out for more reviews. I will be reviewing some other big movies like Marty Supreme, Avatar, Fire and Ash, maybe some smaller movies that I missed out before the year ends. But yeah, thank you guys. Peace out.